A Formula One driver, Carlos Sainz, has ignited a firestorm with explosive comments about the FIA's recent statement. Sainz showcased his frustration in a jaw-dropping move, leaving fans and pundits alike stunned. What could have prompted such a strong reaction from the usually composed driver? Was the FIA's statement truly as ridiculous as Sainz claims? So let's dive into this video today to know what exactly Sainz said and why it's causing such a stir in the racing world. The F1 Miami Grand Prix ended with Lando Norris securing his first ever victory. However, the joy was tempered by the FIA's late issuance of penalties on Sunday. These penalties didn't affect Norris's win, but they did alter the final standings. This decision wasn't well received by affected drivers. The FIA and race stewards were extremely active throughout the Miami Grand Prix weekend. In total, 120 seconds of penalties and 7 penalty points were handed out during the sprint race and main event. Despite this, the top 3 positions remained unchanged. Most fans celebrated Norris's triumph, but questioned Carlos Sainz's 4th-place finish due to a potential penalty for colliding with Oscar Piastri, resulting in front wing damage. During a heated battle, Sainz's contact with Piastri damaged Piastri's front wing, subsequently ending his point-scoring chances. Both drivers faced scrutiny from the stewards for a possible breach of racing regulations. The FIA determined that Sainz lost control of his car during the incident, albeit not in an extreme manner as specified in the FIA's sporting code. In the aftermath of the collision, Carlos Sainz faced a penalty of 5 seconds and received 1 penalty point. This was less severe than the initial 10-second penalty and 2 penalty points he could have received. As a consequence, Sainz dropped from 4th to 5th place in the final standings. Meanwhile, Sergio Perez advanced from 5th to 4th position. Originally, Sainz finished 4th in the race at the Hard Rock Stadium, closely trailing his teammate Charles Leclerc. However, due to the penalty, Sainz now occupies 5th place, with Red Bull's Perez moving up to 4th. Sainz versus Piastri, clash and consequences. During the race, Sainz engaged in a tense battle with McLaren driver Piastri for 4th position. Piastri had initially overtaken Leclerc early in the race before a safety car intervention altered the dynamics. Sainz felt aggrieved when Piastri's maneuver in turn 11 went unpunished, considering it overly cautious. Despite Sainz's protests over the radio, no action was taken. Determined to regain ground, Sainz attempted an overtaking move on Piastri with the assistance of the DRS, drag reduction system, approaching turn 17. However, a loss of control caused Sainz to collide with Piastri's McLaren, damaging its front wing. As a result of the collision between Sainz, car 55, and Piastri, car 81, Piastri had to make an unplanned pit stop to replace his damaged wing. Unfortunately, this pit stop dashed any hopes Piastri had of scoring points in the race. After reviewing the incident, race stewards determined that Sainz was primarily responsible for the collision. They imposed a 5-second penalty and 1 penalty point on Sainz. According to the steward's report, Sainz approached the overtake attempt too aggressively, braking late and missing the apex of the turn. This caused him to lose control of the rear of his car, resulting in the collision with Piastri. Despite Piastri giving him enough room, Sainz's error led to the incident. The stewards acknowledged that mitigating factors contributed to the collision. They noted that if Sainz had not lost control of his car slightly, the collision might not have occurred, and the racing would have been intense but fair. Typically, the standard penalty for such a collision would be 10 seconds and 2 penalty points, but Sainz's penalty was reduced due to these mitigating circumstances. In response to the incident, the stewards issued a 5-second time penalty and 1 penalty point to Sainz. Dissatisfied with the stewards' decisions, Sainz expressed his frustration, stating, "I saw the stewards were not being very aggressive today with penalties." He believed that he had been unfairly penalized despite feeling the victim of multiple collisions during the race. Sainz criticized the officiating during the Miami Grand Prix, claiming that the officials were not strict enough, but ultimately he found himself penalized. Reflecting on the race, Sainz recounted his challenges, including a near miss at the start with another driver. He recalled, "He came like a torpedo and nearly took us all with him." This incident cost him valuable positions early in the race. Throughout the race, Sainz encountered various obstacles, including contact with other drivers. He mentioned his frustration with Oscar Piastri's aggressive maneuvers, stating, "Frustrated with Oscar because he clearly pushed us off track and cost us to lose time with Charles and Max." Sainz also acknowledged his own mistakes, admitting, "Me with my late braking, locking the rear tires and losing the rear." Despite the setbacks, Sainz remained determined to make the most of the race. He expressed hope that the damage incurred during the collisions did not significantly impact his performance. Sainz reflected on his pace towards the end of the race, noting, "I was pretty quick at the end, same pace as Lando." However, his hopes for a better outcome were dampened by the penalty he received. He further continued congratulating Lando Norris on his well-deserved victory, acknowledging, "I'm truly happy for him. He deserved a win for a long time, and today was his day." However, Sainz's own race didn't unfold as he hoped. Despite a strong start that saw him climb to P2, he lost positions due to evasive maneuvers, dropping to P4. He found himself stuck in a DRS train for several laps, opting to conserve his tires and extend his first stint, hoping for a strategic advantage. Setbacks and silver linings. Unfortunately, Sainz's strategy was thwarted by the untimely appearance of the safety car, nullifying his chance to lead the race after pitting. Despite this setback, Sainz remained upbeat, stating, "It is what it is." He took solace in his strong race pace and the valuable points he secured for his team. Looking forward to the next race, Sainz expressed optimism about Ferrari's prospects, especially considering the upcoming race's location, which he dubbed Ferrari's playground. With Red Bull showing vulnerabilities this season, Sainz speculated on the possibility of Ferrari mounting a challenge for victory on their home turf, hinting at an exciting battle to come. Sainz wasn't happy as he voiced his dissatisfaction with the penalty and stewards' decisions following the race. However, this wasn't his only criticism for the FIA over the weekend. Sainz also believes that the tyre choices for the Formula 1 Miami Grand Prix were too conservative, advocating for softer tyre options to enhance excitement in future races. The Miami Grand Prix was anticipated to be a one-stop affair due to the circuit's layout, low grip surface, and warm track conditions. Many drivers felt that their qualifying performance depended heavily on tyre management during their flying laps around the 3.363-mile circuit. Consequently, the race primarily saw one-stop strategies across the grid, offering little room for surprises or strategic variation. Expressing his views, Sainz remarked, "Unfortunately, I think the tyre compounds are a bit on the conservative side for this Grand Prix." He believes that softer tyre compounds could have injected more strategy variability into the race, potentially leading to more unpredictable outcomes. Max Verstappen expressed his frustration with the tyre performance, stating, "Just very low grip, they overheat very quickly." He believes that the current tyre compounds are too conservative and lead to straightforward one-stop races. Verstappen prefers races with more pit stops, finding them a lot more fun and challenging for both teams and drivers. Hamilton echoed Verstappen's sentiments, highlighting the narrow operating window of the tyres on the current ground effect cars. He reflected, "Definitely, in all my career, I don't remember ever having such a small window of working." Hamilton expressed frustration over the handling of his Mercedes being impacted by the tyres, considering it the most frustrating aspect of his career. Verstappen suggested exploring softer tyre compounds to increase strategy variability. He proposed, "Maybe we could go softer, we'd have to speak to Pirelli about if they want to do that." Hamilton's frustration with the current tyre performance also implies a need for adjustments to enhance the racing experience. Considering Verstappen and Hamilton's opinions, it's evident that drivers desire tyres with a broader operating window, allowing for more strategic flexibility and challenging racing conditions. The call for softer tyre compounds suggests a potential avenue for enhancing the excitement of Formula 1 races. As discussions continue, whether changes will be made to address drivers' concerns and improve the overall racing experience remains to be seen. So what do you think of the Carlos Sainz's major bombshell on FIA? Comment below your views and subscribe for more.